Hello, welcome back to Red Hot Chef. My name is Matthias, and today we are cooking steak carnitas. So first off, we've got some spices for a dry rub. We've got our garlic powder, we've got oregano right here, we've got some cayenne, we've got onion powder, we've got Himalayan pink salt, we have our paprika, we have a little bit of cinnamon, and we have some garlic right here. So first things first, we're just going to mix all of these into one bowl. Mix all of them up. And there we go. Take a little spoon out just to mix with, nothing special. And then once that is all nice and mixed up, we are going to go ahead, take our steaks, and you should have already washed your hands at this point. Take our steaks, lay them down. We might not fit on this plate, but we're going to have to make do. Anyways, rinse off the hands a little bit. Remember, clean up your station always. Make sure any dirty dishes that you can get out of the way are out of the way, so your cooking area is clutter-free. Makes cooking way easier. And then we're just going to spread this on over. Give a nice little rub in. Make sure that there's not any clumps or puddles, anything anywhere. Ooh. Ooh. Spice in the air is getting to me. But as I was saying, make sure that there's not any clumps of spice anywhere. You just want one nice little layer. And once you have that all rubbed in, we're just going to go ahead and flip it over and get that other side going. Alright, now once we have it flipped, once again we're going to go in with that dry rub. We are using a skirt steak for our carnitas today. Now we're going to set the meat off up to the side over here. We'll need that later, just not right now. And then wash all that spice off of our hands for rubbing the dry rub in. Alright, next thing, we're just going to preheat our pan a little bit so it's nice and ready for those steaks in a little. We're going to take our cutting board over here. Set that out to the side. And we are going to chop our onions by cutting both the top and the root off. And then, first off, let me make some space real quick. Throw the onions into the slow cooker or crock pot. And then we are going to we're going to cut this onion in half this way, slightly smaller pieces, and then we are just going to chop them right down the middle like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then pick all those onions up, throw them in the pan real quick. And then move on to our cilantro. Now, in all of my culinary experience in commercial kitchens, usually you don't use the stems for a lot of herbs, but you still can. They do have fiber and a lot of good stuff in them. So if you're cooking at home, you don't have to waste them. especially with this recipe because we'll be cooking the carnitas and the steak for 7 to 8 hours. So any like stringy stems or anything going on is gonna get really nice and cooked down, so it won't be stringy anymore or rigid. It'll be nice and soft. You won't even tell it is a stalk. Alright, now that that's all nice and chopped, I'm going to set this off to the side. And then we're going to take our chicken or beef broth, dump that in there. And then we're going to take our steaks, and we're getting to the fun part. Set them over here. Turn our little pan up to high. Dump that garlic into the slow cooker. So make sure that once you have your onions, your garlic, and your broth in here that you turn it up to high, like so. I believe ours is already set to high, yes. And then start cooking that while you are about to cook the steaks. So your pan is all the way up to high. You need to grab that 1 to 2 tablespoons of cooking oil now. We have some avocado oil. Get that going in the pan. Just a tad bit more. Alrighty. Remember to clear those dirty dishes again, as always. So, once we have that oil going in there, we're going to roll that around, make sure the pan is all nice and coated. And then, since these are so big, we are only going to be able to do one at a time. However, I think it'll go just fine. Now, with the steaks in there, we are only browning them real quickly. So just 3 to 4 minutes aside, just until we get that nice brown flavor all on the sides of those steaks. Grab me some good old tongs. Let me fold this up. Make sure my station looks nice. Alright. Oof. I can already start to smell this. Oh yeah. And typically when you're cooking steaks, the less oil and fat that you have going around in the pan, the faster the steak will sear because it doesn't have all that liquid for heat to transfer off to. Not quite, but we're getting there. Flip it over now. Ooh. That is getting to me. Ooh. Mix up our onions and our broth and our garlic just a tad. Alrighty. And then whenever you are done searing your steaks, you're just going to take them right out and throw them right into that slow cooker. One out. Next one going in right now. So now that we've got that steak in the pan, again, I don't know if I've said this, but this is a skirt steak for this carnitas recipe. You can also use a plank steak. But all we're doing is just searing it for like 3 to 4 minutes, just until it gets nice and brown, but it'll still be pretty raw. And then once it gets nice and brown, you're going to throw it right into the crock pot with those onions and garlic in the broth. So just 3 to 4 minutes each side, just till you get that nice brown flavored goodness all over that steak. Flip it over. Oh yeah, that looks lovely. That looks lovely. Ooh, that's spicy. I just inhaled a straight whiff of that. Whew. You gotta be careful of that. So anytime you're cooking with any ground up spicy anything, peppers, chipotle, cayenne, anything, you gotta watch out for that, those fumes off that pan. It'll knock you back. And that looks perfect right there. So, out of the pan and into the crock pot. And then take your orange juice and just drop that all over that steak. And get rid of that. And then you take the lid, throw the lid on, cook it for 7 to 8 hours, which is what I'm going to go do right now.